Hello my friends, and welcome back to another speed build here on Peach Island. And today we're going to be building a little sunken neighborhood type of thing. If you're interested in videos like this, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We are super close to 400 subs, so please consider joining the Peachtree community. And anyways, this neighborhood that I'm gonna be building is gonna be for Sasha and Flurry and my house, and it's gonna be in this back part of my island here. And as you can see, my house is already placed in the back here, and I'm just gonna be basically digging this whole area out, like make a giant sunken-in pit, to place Flurry and Sasha's houses. So there's gonna be a lot of terraforming in this video. So if you do want to skip over that, I'll put on the screen like right now what time to jump to. If you just want to see, like the decorating and stuff, but if you just want to like watch the terraforming or just vibe and hear me chat, then stick around. I've got some fun stuff I want to chat about in today's video. I figured that since this is for Flurry and Sasha, I need to explain why I chose these two, because there's lore to my island. There's a lot of lore to Peach Island, and I very specifically chose them. Not just anybody could have lived with Flurry, because I have a story about Flurry for you all. You better get your popcorn, because this is gonna be a doozy to listen to. Basically, well, as a lot of people know, normals they're kind of boring. They're not the most fun personalities in the game. Like, I love them. I love that they're crafty and they love to cook, but they're a little boring. So I feel like you have to make a lot of backstory to love your normals. And for Flurry, my dramatic backstory is that she is Peach's serial killer. Yeah, so I know you might be thinking like, sweet little Flurry, serial killer, but trust me, I have compiled a lot of evidence against her. You can't trust her. She looks nice, but she's not. Trust me. I know. I've known her. I've had her on my island for almost 2 years now. I know her. It was originally never my intention to keep Flurry. I actually, I scanned in her amiibo card, like, probably the first week or two of the game, because I had some pretty nasty autofills, like Octavian, and I got Leopold in my first campsite visit. So I just scanned her in temporarily, because I was tired of looking at all these awful villagers, so I wasn't going to keep her. But then I saw she has a hamster cage in her house. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but she literally keeps a hamster in a cage, and I was like, what the hell, Flurry? You're a hamster, and you have a hamster in a cage. What is going on? I just instantly got like bad vibes. I was really confused. And I decided to like get back at her. She was my first pitfall seed victim. As soon as I got the pitfall seed DIY, I pushed her in a pit, and I don't know, I just got this very bad feeling after I did that like I just knew I was gonna regret it. I feel like she was planning something immediately. She was like, she's gonna get me back, and I just felt very bad. I also did write her a pretty nasty letter at one point, because she was literally flat out fat shaming Zucker. Like, he was really sad, and he said that Flurry was like telling him to not eat so many snacks, and I was like, literally, fuck you, Flurry. Like, you don't know anything. Don't fucking talk to Zucker that way. I'll kill you. But I think Flurry decided she's gonna get me instead. She's gonna kill me before I can kill her, and she's just mad for all these reasons. So I'm a little scared. I feel very targeted, and there's a lot of evidence, like I said. So for example, I gave her a stone, because I was curious, like, what will happen if you just give your villager like crafting materials or random crap? And she was like, oh, thank you, this is gonna be so handy. And I was like, oh my god, she's gonna hit me in the head with that rock when I'm asleep and I'm gonna die. She's gifted me knives on multiple occasions. Like, I'm not kidding. She will send me like kitchen knife racks, and I'm like, are you telling me that I need to have weapons, that I need to protect myself? She walks around the cliffs like behind my house. Like, she'll creep in like the weirdest little places. God, and then today on Pocket Camp, I don't know if any of you play Pocket Camp. I recently got back into it because they added like elf ears and stuff. But on like the loading screens, they sometimes have little like snippets about the villagers. And this is what Flurry says. It says, Flurry is as gullible as they come. Be careful making offhanded jokes in her presence, or you could end up with a luxury yacht. It's a long story. I don't know about you, but that feels very threatening. It feels like if you make a joke, she's gonna like, I don't know, when they said luxury yacht, my first thought was like, she's dumping my body in the ocean. Maybe it's just because I know her, and I know not to trust her, so that's why my brain went there, but I don't know, I don't trust her. Even in literal Pocket Camp, like, Nintendo is literally telling me that she is evil. She is literally a serial killer. I don't trust her. I'm very afraid of her. But yeah, I needed to explain that lore so that you can understand like the choices I do for like her yard and stuff. I also just know that I don't know, some of you, I didn't get many. my most unviewed video, sad face, is when I did Flurry's house for Happy Home Paradise. It was just clipped from a VOD from one of my Twitch streams, and I kept making like murder references, and I don't know if that's why people didn't watch it, because they're like, why are you talking about murder and death for Flurry's house? So I was like, maybe I need to explain it better. Maybe I thought it was gonna be funny, like, oh, people are gonna watch this and they're gonna be like, what are these strange serial killer references? But then nobody watched it. So I thought I would explain that. And maybe now that you understand, you can go back and watch that video. Cough, cough. But yeah, she basically, yeah, there's a lot of lore. I have a lot of lore for her. There's a lot of backstory. And I have a lot of backstory for everybody. So like, for example, the reason why I put Sasha next to her is my initial thought was like, Sasha's the only one dumb enough to live next to Flurry, because everybody else knows what she's capable of, but Sasha just is either oblivious or just doesn't care, doesn't believe it, I don't know. And I also kind of like the idea because like Flurry likes to cook and Sasha likes to eat, so I thought they'd make good neighbors, like she could cook for him. Although recently I saw Sasha and Flurry hanging out like a lot, and he was wearing this like very fake ass pair of glasses and like like a bowler hat or fedora or whatever they're called, and he had like a briefcase, and I was like, this is really sketchy. I feel like there's some sort of deal going on. I think Sasha might be a hitman. So now I think that I have two murderous neighbors. I thought it was just Flurry, but now I'm thinking that I'm living near two murderers, and so yeah, I'm the only one that can live near them because, as I said, I think Flurry's targeting me. But also she's not targeting me because I'm single-handedly running this whole island, and if I died, this island would die. So I think she's just keeping me alive until she is satisfied with the growth and satisfied with the completion of this island. So maybe I'll never finish this island just so that she will always know that I am needed and that I need to be here, just to keep myself safe. But yeah, some other lore if you're interested. Marshall and Ione are dating after a very sad love life for Marshall. He and Raymond, I thought they were gonna click, they didn't. Marshall had a thing for Judy, but she just totally did not care for him, was really mean to him. And then I thought maybe he would like Julian, but they're just rivals. They're not friends. They hate each other. They'll always be like in the plaza singing, but specifically on like opposite ends of the plaza. Or sometimes they're singing like different songs. Like they're very competitive. They are not friends. They are very, very competitive. I was hoping they'd be a cute little gay couple, but no, they are just, they're rivals. They are enemies. This is not an enemies to lover story. This is enemies to still enemies. And also romance. By the way, Flurry is dating Dom. I don't think Dom knows what Flurry really is and what she's capable of. I don't think she does. I don't think he knows. I think Flurry likes that. I think it makes her feel, I don't know if it makes her feel better about herself, or maybe it's like a good alibi, like if there's ever like a trial or anything, her boyfriend could vouch for her, like, oh, I would know if my girlfriend is a murderer. So, and I think maybe that's why they get along so well. I don't know. It's a weird pairing, but that's just how love is sometimes. Sometimes a sheep and a hamster fall in love. And that's just the way it is. Also, I know I mentioned in the past that I was gonna move Plucky in and make Freckles and Plucky date. Well, I got Plucky moved in, did not vibe. I feel very bad, but I didn't vibe. So Freckles and Plucky are not gonna be bird wives. But I think maybe Freckles will just be my wife instead, because I love her. She's my little baby. I'll just be a bird wife with her. Okay, wow, this is a lot. If you're listening to this still, I hope you're enjoying it. Hopefully it's not weird. Yeah. Anyways, actually, let's focus on the build. This has been a lot. I think this is more than enough lore for your little brains to hear in one day. It's kind of a lot. But, this build was like a struggle for me, as you can maybe tell by the fact that we're, 10 minutes into the video and I'm still building cliffs and crap. I didn't really know exactly what shape to do. I just knew that I wanted it to, like, be like sunken in. So I kind of just made what felt right and made a lot of adjustments. And you can tell I did place down like a couple splotches of the path, and then I marked where I want to put trees, which is what those little dirt spots are that you see kind of sprinkled around, and also those like dug holes up on the cliff. That was just like, I was trying to visualize where I could put trees. And so yeah, I just wanted to get a feel for like how much room will there be with the houses, like how many trees and plants can I fit in, how much furniture can I fit in, and all that. And then this part, I think, was actually, no, that's a lie. It was all a struggle. There wasn't one hardest part. I struggled a lot with, I'm building Sasha. It's like a tree house, that little like raised cliff off to the left, which you'll see me decorate it soon here. And it'll make more sense once you see it. But for this area, I wanted Flurry's house to be kind of tucked back into the cliffs, like a little hobbit hole. I used to have her house like that for a very long time, where it was tucked back in the cliffs, and I just loved it, and I've missed that. So I wanted to redo that. But I also wanted it to kind of have very exclusive beach access. Originally, I kind of visualized this area being on the second level and then having it incline down to the beach and making that the only way to get down to this little upper right beach. But I just couldn't put this area on the second level. One, because I wanted it sunken in, so that would mean that everything else would have to move up to the third level, and it was just gonna be way too much terraforming, too much moving stuff. Too many inclines. It was gonna be a nightmare. So I just left it like this. And since I could not do like an incline down because we're already on the bottom level, I basically ended up, you'll see it soon, but I ended up putting in a pergola item that you can walk through. And that's the only way to get to the beach, is walking through it. And it's kind of just tucked in between the cliffs. And I think that looked really, really good. I really love just having little sneaky hidden areas like that. Like just having like, you can only get in through that pergola, or I love areas where it's like you can only get there like when areas are just like blocked off, you know. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm just babbling. I'm doing a lot of talking right now. This is a much longer voiceover than I've done in a while. I've tried to keep my videos short, but this one was a doozy. There was so much stuff to do, so much decorating. So much decorating. Okay, yeah, so you can see that the pergolas, I kind of went with 2 at first, but the one on the upper part just didn't make sense because it was right next to her house, so you couldn't actually walk through it because the left side was like up against her home. So I ended up just doing one pergola kind of, yeah, in this little spot where it's kind of like bumped out a little bit, like onto the beach, like there's a little more room. And then there was just enough room. I was so happy. I could squeeze a little tree in that little corner there, and it made me so happy. I love when the trees just like, you have just enough room for a tree. It's so nice. There's nothing more painful than like you want to fit a tree in an area and there's no room. And there's nothing more satisfying than needing to put a tree in and having just enough space. It was very good. It was very beautiful. And then I built this little cliff in. I was also going to say I was originally going to decorate that upper cliff area, like kind of this in behind area. And I was also going to decorate my yard, but this video, I massively underestimated how long it would take and how much footage I would have. And I was like, okay, this video is probably going to be 30 to 40 minutes. It's only around 31 right now. So I'm pretty proud that I managed to get about 3 to 4 hours of footage into a 30-minute video. But I don't really like to do videos any longer than this. It just gets way too long. I have very short attention span, and I'm sure many of you do too. So I don't like to do videos that long. So I don't think I'm gonna put it in a video, like decorating my yard. I kind of just sometimes like to decorate things off camera. It's a really difficult balance. Like, I love sharing things with you all. I love content creation, but it's also very draining. It's very time consuming. And the best way to do it is really totally plan ahead. Like, the easiest way to have done this would have been if I planned everything in advance and then filmed it, instead of what I did, which was just building things and then breaking them apart and moving them a million times because I was so undecided. But I just like being a little bit more free and creative sometimes. So I do some builds on my island just off camera. And I'm sure if any of you watching this are also like YouTuber people, you probably understand. And that kind of in general has been something I've been doing more with games, is just enjoying my games off camera and just kind of not planning things out. Like this right here, I'm building this little pond. I don't really show too much of it, and I haven't really built anything else, but I just threw it in, and it felt really fun. Sometimes it's fun just to build whatever. But anyways, here we are. The terraforming is done. If you lasted this long, congrats. Or if you just skipped ahead, thank you for skipping ahead and not just leaving the video. But yeah, let's get to decorating. As far as the actual yard decor, I wanted them to all have gardens and like crops and stuff. It feels very village, cottagey vibes to me. And it's also useful. Like I wanted it to have like places to grow all the crops that wasn't just like one massive farm. Oh, real quick, right here, this is the tree, or cliff edge tree hack if you've never seen it. I'm not very good at explaining things, but basically, yeah, you put a tree on a little L-shaped corner of a cliff, and then you build that little weird kind of U-C-shaped river, and it just works. I don't know how to explain it. There's tutorials out, but I did want to leave this bit in, because I know I still get a lot of questions. Like, whenever I stream on Twitch regularly, and I swear people always ask me in my chat, like, how do you do that? I don't get it. So I just wanted to keep that little bit in there. I know, yeah, it was kind of fast, but hopefully it helped a little bit. Because it's a really fun trick. Like, when you really want to squeeze in another tree, but you don't want to make the cliff bigger because it's just too huge. It's nice to just squeeze a tree in, which you can see that little pink tree over to the bottom right is also a cliff edge tree. I like sprinkling them throughout the island. So anyways, here I am working on Sasha's yard, and he's sitting there. He's so cute. I love him. He was really in the way at one point. I had to push him out and like put fencing up. You'll notice at one point there's like random fences off to the right because I like had to shove him away. He was just he wouldn't stop fishing, and I was like, sir, I need to decorate there. Please move. But what better crop for Bunny to grow than carrots? I don't think I actually show them fully grown in this video. I was too lazy to time travel forward because I had already spent so many hours on this build. I was so done. But it looks really, really cute, and I'll be sure to post a picture on my Instagram of what this area looks like once the carrots are all fully grown in. It looks really, really cute. And I kind of like tried to be sporadic about watering them. So like some of them have 3 carrots, some just have 2. It looks very natural. But yeah, I gave him a little carrot patch because I thought he would love munching on carrots because that's what buddies do. And I don't know, I've also been very excited for Easter. I don't really do much for Easter, but I just really love the vibes of it and like the aesthetic. So this yard felt very Eastery to me. And I had a lot of fun. But yeah, the vibes kind of overall though, I wanted it to kind of feel like a British cottage garden. I don't know if I really achieved that properly. And I haven't been to England in a very long time, and I was just in the city, so I don't know if I'm actually portraying this at all right. But just from like pictures I've seen online, I feel like this is like very like British shabby chic grandma cottage vibes, like the very blue and white flowery vibe. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but I really love that kind of I don't know, kind of colorful, quilted, British look. I don't know. I have a very clear, just search like British cottage kitchen on Pinterest, or like blue shabby chic, not necessarily like pink, more of like a blue red. Or like if you've seen, if you've watched a Great British Bake Off, which if you haven't, please watch it, it's great. Kind of like how the kitchen looks, it's very pastel and cute and colorful, and it's got like the little like banners up on the walls. It's like that kind of vibe. That's what I wanted to go for. And I think it looks really cute. Cause yeah, that was kind of something that I was saying as we were finishing up the terraforming, but I kind of am not crazy about sticking to themes super strictly, and this is something I've talked about like with friends, and I've seen like other content creators talk about. It's fun to stick to a theme. I think it can be helpful to like generate ideas, and it's nice to have an island feel cohesive, but it can also be really like just very draining, and it can kind of make it hard to feel creative. So I don't try. My overall theme is very whimsical, fairy tale pink energy, but it's not strictly, and I call it fairycore usually, but it's not strictly fairycore. Like this area is maybe more of a like springcore cottagey vibe. But you know what? It's okay. And I might change it up a bit. I was thinking I kind of have a lot of trees in this area. So I might take some out and put in like little mushrooms or like the giant vines. That could make it feel more fairy tale like. Because I kind of want this to be like a village on the edge of a fairy forest. Because I'm basically going to be building a fairy forest somewhere on my island at some point, and it's probably going to be near this area. So you can just do whatever, and it's okay. I might not keep this area like this forever. I might change this up. I might, change the plants. I might change up the sitting area, but it's okay, just do what you want in the moment. I've kind of been trying to do that more lately with my builds, just put out what feels nice and just move on. Like, it's okay if it's not perfectly aesthetic. And because I also I like to use like every item, I think I put down in this build like the Bunny Day chocolates and some of the other like Bunny Day topiaries. And you don't see those items a lot in some builds other than like Spring Islands, or like I'm gonna have a mermaid area and I might do like a build with like the pirate stuff. Like, I want to be able to use all of the furniture on my island, and I know with a lot of themes it's very limited like what items you're allowed to use. I think it's just fun to change it up. But okay, this area, I'm obsessed with this little area that I built. It's basically a little bunny tea party area. I crafted every single like recipe I had that used carrots, which was a lot. There's a lot of carrot recipes and also like veggie recipes. Oh my god, there's a lot. I could not fit them all. So I struggled. Like, I put out the scones, I put out the sandwich. I in the end went for more specifically like a tea party, so mostly just pastries and breads. Like, I didn't keep the sandwich, I didn't put down the soup. I tried to keep it more on the sweet side rather than the savory side. And this was kind of inspired by Sasha's interior. He has this little corner in his house where there's like the patchwork low table and a couple of these bunnies plushies like sitting around it. And I don't know why, I was thinking they were having a tea party, but I went in his house and it's actually, they have board games on the table. So not quite the same, but still very cute. And when I renovate his house, I'm probably gonna keep that area, but like add some tea, so it can be like tea and games. Just very cutesy. But I love this whole idea of like having tea parties with stuffed animals. One of my favorite photographs of myself, there's a picture of me when I'm like 4 maybe, and I'm like pouring tea for my little teddy bear, and I'm in a little dress, and it's so cute. And that's kind of been like an inspiration for, I've done a lot of like stuffed animal tea party builds. Like, I think a common like kind of fairy core cottagey build is like having teddy bears sitting on chairs having a tea party. And that always makes me think of that photo. But anyways, yeah, I love this build. I love doing cute little areas, and I don't know why I decided a tree house. Bunnies don't live in trees, like, at all, that I'm aware of, at least. Maybe there's a weird tree bunny out there somewhere. Like, there's flying squirrels, maybe there's like flying rabbits. I don't know, but anyways, I don't know, it just felt fun. It felt very nostalgic, little kitty. I never had a tree house as a kid, but it just feels like a very childhood type of thing to have a tree house. So I thought it'd be fitting for him. And I know it doesn't really look super treehousey right now. It's kind of just like up on a cliff. But I did, after I finished filming this, I did go back and add a bunch of trees around that empty cliff space to the left, and it looks so much better now. I will also be sure to share that on my Instagram. Okay, now I wanted to show this. I struggled. I really wanted to have a snack area with this sandwich and soup. I tried it off to the left, didn't fit. Tried it right here, it was okay, but I missed the swinging bench. Tried it inside the garden right here, it looked awful. Tried it again outside the garden, just didn't work. And I know that was like a 10-second snippet there, but that was like hours. It was like 1 a.m. I was very sick. I was struggling to breathe. I was coughing so much. I was like basically delirious. Like, god damn it, I need to put this fucking sandwich soup. I don't know why. Something about sandwich and soup. I was just like, that sounds so good. I want Sasha to have a sandwich and soup area. And I was determined. But I just love like the simplicity of the swinging bench. That also feels very nostalgic. I feel like every little old granny should have like a swinging bench on their porch. And the lazies talk about their grandmas a lot. So it made me feel like he's like living in his grandma's old house or something. So I kept it in instead of doing the dining area. And I was like, okay, I could have like moved the cliff back, but I was like, God damn it, I already built that whole tea party. I'm not moving the cliff back. I'm not re-terraforming this. So I just gave up. I think I'm gonna put the like tea and or soup and sandwich kind of thing. Oh, excuse me, burping. I'm gonna put the soup and sandwich thing in my yard somewhere whenever I decorate it. Which yeah, I was gonna include that in this video, but this video is just too long, so I didn't. But yeah, I'm thinking of building just like a cute little dining outdoor porch for my yard. And yeah, that was basically it for Sasha's yard, and now we're on to Flurry's yard, which if you stayed for the terraforming portion of this video and you heard the lore, I have additional lore with her yard. As you can see, Flurry's got a lot of these lily of the valleys, the little perfect flowers, and people always ask her, like, you know, how do you get them to grow? How do you get these amazing, gorgeous flowers to grow? Like, you're just such a great thumb. And well, basically, Flurry tells everyone she has a special fertilizer that she makes herself. It's very organic, all organic materials. I'm gonna leave it at that. Unrelated, there's also a bit of lore that nobody ever leaves Peach. Nobody ever moves out. Everybody who's left, they're still here. Like Raymond and Sky, all my past villagers, they're still here. In our hearts, and possibly in Flurry's fertilizer. We're gonna leave it there. If you'd skipped over the lore portion, you maybe gonna want to go back, because I'm not gonna explain it any more than that. So yeah, Flurry with her magic fertilizer that she makes from question mark. What is it made of? I don't want to say it. I'm a little scared to think of what it's made of, but yeah, it's there. It's great. It's doing its job. She's got some beautiful flowers. On a more positive note, as I said earlier, I wanted Flurry's house to be tucked into the cliff because I used to have her house like that. I also used to have a little rocking chair in her yard, and I remember like when I placed the rocking chair down, and she instantly ran up and sat down in it and then like fell asleep, and I was like, okay, I have to give her rocking chairs in every build now. It's like a law. And my island's been like a mess since 2.0 update. Like for basically 2 or 3 months, her house was just sitting in the back of my island like empty, and I was like, you know what, she needs her rocking chair back. Although since I've done this build, she hasn't sat down on it. I'm very bitter. I'm like, really? That was like your favorite item for the longest time. You loved sitting in your little rocking chair with your little tea and your books, but I don't know. She doesn't do it. I've barely seen her in her yard at all, honestly. Like I saw her sweeping her yard one day, and I took like 1,000 photos, and I don't see Sasha in his yard much either, other than like when I filmed this video, he was in his yard a lot, but like I don't see him. The other day he was like doing yoga in Plucky's yard, which is like literally empty, and I was like, dude, I spent literal fucking hours in the middle of the fucking night building you a perfect yard, and then you're gonna go do yoga in an empty one? Like, why do I bother? Why do I bother for you ungrateful animals? I was so bitter. I was so mad. Does anyone else get mad like that? Like, do your villagers do this to you too? Like, do you spend hours building them beautiful things, and then they don't appreciate it? They don't go in their yards. They don't sit in the chairs. And I know you can sit in the chair. Like, I left space. It's not like it's blocked by an item. She can get into the chair. She just refuses for whatever reason. And it makes me very angry. But I hope she sits in it eventually. But, you know, it's okay. I might change this area up at some point. Like, down here, I just put down, like, a clothesline and a little laundry bucket. Like, I was running out of inspiration. So as I think of things, I might change things up. As I get bored, I might change things up. I think that's part of the beauty of this game. I don't think my island is ever going to be like 100% perfectly completed. I might get to a point where it's like done and I decide to post a dream address, but I'm always going to be updating it. I'm never going to finish it because I just love editing. And also, yeah, as I said earlier, I think I need to keep fixing it so that Flurry continues to think that I'm useful and necessary to the development of this island. I will just keep tearing things down and rebuilding them for as long as I need to. But this is basically the end of the build, I believe. I just basically was stuffing in a bunch of extra flowers, any space I had, stuffing them in on the edge of the cliff, really any corner that I could, even back in these areas where you can't even see them. I just planted them everywhere. Oh yeah, and my beach is very sad. That's my next task, is to clean my beach. It's so sad. It's very full of flowers. And that campsite is moving, by the way. But here we are, the end of the build, this very massive, long build. I'm so happy with how it turned out. It looks, I know it's a very simple look, but it took a lot of work and a lot of thought to just get all these items in just right. And I'm really, really happy with how it turned out, and I absolutely love it, although apparently my villagers don't like it because they don't spend any time in their yards. But if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe. I'm planning on renovating their Sasha and Flurry's interiors and exteriors, so that'll be up soon. So please subscribe if you want to see that. But until the next time, stay peachy and have a wonderful rest of your night. Bye-bye.